All right.
100%.
I saw some nods there from Steve. I had to stop it. So,
Man, that was good.
100%. Yeah, no funny, no. I'm not gonna jab him. No, he's 100% right.
yeah,
You gotta love,
Dave.
love it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That part kind of got me. Hold on, this microphone's way too loud. What was it? I have to recall because my memory is very limited. So
Why is that? Why is that, Dave?
because I make it limited, because I put it out there.
That's what you keep telling yourself. That's what you get.
Man, there was just so many things that he was like hitting that kind of got me, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Take your time, man.
For my business,
Yeah,
I get all this extra money and I buy stupid crap all the time, and I don't even use it. It's just it's here. Hey, I got this. Great. Now, what's the next thing I could buy? And I just keep buying dumb shit, like he says.
Yeah. So let's hit on that point,
we
right?
talked about that when I was back down in Florida. We talked about that. You were getting a lot of work, and I said, why don't you some of that out? Find there's there's people in other countries. We used to use people in India that would do our drawings for us. So we will get a system, we'll design it. I would give them the bones of the system, like what it's what's going to connect. And this was audiovisual systems, so people can understand what we're talking about. So I would give them the bones, how this thing's going to go connected, and a day or two later, these draftsmen from India, they would draft it up, beautiful, professional, excellent, everything done. It showed you your HDMI inputs, your auxiliary outputs, your whatever, your anything that was on the system. They would show it. And I didn't have to do anything except check it and make sure that it was right. So
See, that's awesome.
I kind of gave you the idea. I said, why don't you do that? Because you have a lot of contacts in
Yeah.
business.
We talked about that Friday morning.
Is getting contacts. I think
it's the thing that like what you said, design it, lay it out on paper, send it out, and get the price. They do it. I get it back. Changes, and the changes constantly are going to be driving me nuts.
Yeah, the changes, I get it. The changes can add up, but even if you make, half, let's say, I don't know, let's say you set a budget, because I know I've heard some of the numbers they be throwing at you, and those are some serious numbers.
Yeah.
These people will draw that for 10% of whatever you got the job for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and this is with you doing nothing. This is just you forwarding it along.
So let's just say this, right? Let's say Dave lays it out and says, hey, I need you to complete this, right? Dave is apt enough to get the job back and says, okay, he screwed X, Y, and Z up. Let me pay him his base cost for this, and he can fix the rest in less than 5 minutes, knowing Dave, right?
Yeah.
So he could save on that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But what they were talking about was outsourcing. Right. And also loving the game. Right. So it was more or less like, hey, we're talking about how can we pass off the crap that we don't want to do ourselves? How can we find the people to do it? Like, I have very minimal editing skills at this point because I'm still learning how to find a flow in this process, but I'm getting better at it. Right. So I can't pass it off to anybody right now because I don't have the funds allocated to do that. I have to do it myself, right? I can't pass it off to you guys because, like me, you don't have the time, don't have the resources to do it. So there's some things you just have to absolutely do yourself. But the real reason why I keep doing it every single week is because I love it. That drive right there to spark that somebody else to say, man, they're doing something. These guys are on here on a Sunday night, got to go to work the next day, record this episode. I'm somehow have this edited by next week, Thursday, and it's going to be uploaded and it's going to look as best as I can. Right. But I'm doing it because I love it. And I know that something's going to come from it because somebody's going to get helped. Right. We're here to help each other. Right. We're not just here just because we're doing a YouTube channel with 0 views. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it to actually help somebody, to give somebody some sort of inspiration, the mental toughness to keep it going. So you, the person at home, have to ask yourself, what do you love? What do you love to do? What can you find that you can just pour your time into it? Like, you know, when I began, I didn't have Steve and Dave like, you got it. You know, I more had Dave, but he was like, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I hear you, bro. Hey, I got to go. Steve, I didn't really even talk to. He just found out about this a couple of weeks ago, you know? So it was a love that grew into a passion, that grew into an obsession. Now I was like, hey, I gotta find help. I need help, because me alone, I don't think I'm as fun to listen to by myself.
What are you talking about? You're good.
Yeah, because
I'm glad we're all in here.
To somebody, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're talking together. We're talking as friends, right?
Right.
But we're having a conversation that other people need to hear, because who else is going to tell these people that? I mean, they can hear it from Gary, right? They can hear it from Sean. They can hear it from all these other gurus that you might find on the internet. And I'm not calling these guys gurus, but they're people that made it. But we're like that filter process. How are we filtering it? Right. When I hear him talk about this thing, I think about Dave and his business that he has to do. He has to get all of this work done. And in the conversations that we have, like, bro, I'm just so tired, you know, and then passing the work off to somebody else. But then that also means you have to pay. You actually have to give the money to do it. Then you have to take the time to review it. And you might have to pay for revisions and so on and so forth. Right. But then it comes down to one thing, the love of the game, the being able to do it and get it done. Because if you don't love what you do, if you don't like it, I mean, if you like it, you could probably do it, but for how long?
Yeah.
When you love the game, you're going to be in it. You're going to play it, and you're going to play to win. So it's about cultivating the love. And for the people at home that's watching this, you have to ask yourself that question. What do you love to do? And how can you turn it into something that's profitable? And how can you bring other people along? So I made that little joke just before we got into the video about, hey, these guys was looking at me like, yeah, right, now they're here. But it's because I was able to convince them. Well, not convince them, but to persuade them, hey, we're dying. Well, what do we have left to lose?
I'll tell you this. When you first told me about affiliate marketing, I get it. I got it, because you're very smart and you understand it and you explain it to somebody who has zero concept, or I didn't even know that existed. You know, and you explained it well enough that I got it, and I was like, okay, I get it. The only reason I looked with like a puzzled face is because I went to the next question. I was like, well, what's Roger gonna sell? You know, like what are you selling that's gonna bring in, you know, to make somebody click to get that affiliate link and purchase whatever it is that they're purchasing, you know, a blender, an NFT, whatever it is, right? And that's the only, that's where my mind was, right? And what made me believe in this and what we're doing now is because now I see what you're selling, you know. Now I see what you're selling. You're selling, we're selling, you're selling you're selling us, right? You're selling the idea, you know, you have a product now, because you're very personable, you have a very like nice style, you're like that is a good product. You know, that is a good product, and we're good friends, so I think people would like to see us, you know, talk crap with each other, you know. So you understand where my head is at, totally. And why, you know?
And let me address something too. And this came here, right, when you was like selling. A lot of people in the community. Came right here. Yes. Oh.
The chest salad.
No, not that kind, sir. Not that kind. It was more like a bubble up, not like a. what I mean by that is when a lot of people in this community, and you could, being in this world of affiliate marketing and e-commerce and things of that nature, people are so turned off against the word sell, right? Even though that's how all things get done in the entire world. When you watch TV, somebody sold that program to a network who sold spots to advertisements that you watch, and you go, in between these areas, you'll see something that you'll go and buy. Mm-hmm. And then when somebody says, hey, you might have to sell something, you turn around and go, oh, that's so icky, because you think about the negative end of that, right? And really, sales is just providing a service in return for money. Now, we haven't asked anybody on here for any kind of money for any service, because what we're providing is value of conversation, value of letting you know that you are not alone in this world. Because let me tell you, it gets lonely when you're trying to break into this massive online market. It doesn't even describe it to call it a sea or an ocean. It's like a universe. And those little lights that you see are the people who are doing their thing, and the rest of it is just complete vast blackness, void of internet space that some places go to die, right? So with that in mind is the fact that you have to mentally get over selling, because selling is not a bad thing. You don't get up. You might get upset when you go to the store nowadays, but when you have to go and buy something, you're not like, oh, they're doing me a disservice. Look, you need to wipe your butt. You go and buy toilet paper. They ask you for $5.99. You give them the money and you go home and wipe your butt, hopefully, and not eat it like some people do, like I saw on the show one time. But but the fact of the matter is that, in this vast world, we have to connect. We have to learn. We have to grow. We have to get to a point where we can actually forego ego. We have to push away what we think we know and just try something new. We have to be afraid. We have to be not afraid to take a risk on ourselves. Not afraid to put ourselves out there. Dave and I was terrified of the cameras. Like, I could not look at myself on camera, right? I couldn't even stand the sound of my own voice. Yet here I am before you on camera talking to you, right? Yeah, I got like this iPhone thing going on right here.
It's a little lumpy.
Yeah, you need to upgrade to the island one, the iPhone 14.
Then I got this fat dip right here. But these are the imperfections I see. You probably never even noticed until I pointed out. And if you did, say it in the comments below.
My chipped tooth.
Yeah, Steve's got a chipped tooth. He's got that Jim Carrey thing going on there. And Dave, Dave looks like a zombie 90% of the time that we're on here. Oh, yeah.
Losing my hair.
Yeah, he's got the Vegeta tape going.
I got the Gary V. There you go.
The
Gary V.
So we all have imperfections. We all have these things that we don't like about ourselves, but it's the same face we meet and talk to people with every single day, right? So there's a mental toughness that goes along with this that you have to get past, that you have to cultivate this mental toughness to move on, to get past yourself. The moment you get out of the way, things get much easier, but it takes practice. It takes time. And we will help you discover that, because we're discovering ourselves. And this is our side quest to life, right? If you're a gamer, you will understand this. When you're playing the game and there's a mission, especially if you're like in a RPG or something like that, you got to take side quests, because there's some bosses you come against that you get destroyed the moment you hit there. So you got to go and do those side missions to get stronger. And this is the side mission that we are on to tackle life, because life is the ultimate boss. It is, plain and simple. And we have to get stronger. And this is our way of doing that. And if you haven't found your way, stay tuned because we're going to help you discover that. This is episode 3 in the mindset series. So we got more to discover. So we're going to hit this video up, see where we go from here.
People want to look successful more than actually be successful. Back to why I make so much content about self-esteem. The reason I focus on love and being kind to yourself and the shit that I've been talking about is that's the seed of the whole game. If you need Lambos and chains and accolades and check marks and 1 million followers to clog the holes that you have in your soul, then you're gonna not be able to build meaningful things because you're taken out of your business instead of feeding it.
Gary, for stage 2, and this is kind of a personal question because I'm a case study for it. You know, your influence I went from making tech review videos, from reviewing tech, doing tech tutorials and affiliate marketing, built a 6-figure income. One of the biggest pieces of advice as I'm watching your content and I'm absorbing is we put it back in. We put it back in. My wife and I just looked at the numbers in 2019. Our income went down, our net was like nothing because we went all in team. And then in 2020, things 4x'd after making a massive investment back in our business. We're now 23 people, and we're trying to really follow your model. 63 pieces of content a day, that free deck that you have or whatever.
All of the numbers I throw out are completely arbitrary. The number, no, I mean it. You're talking about the 86 pieces of content, you know,
86.
Gary, yeah.
73?
4 TikToks a day, all of it's arbitrary. The number is as much as humanly fucking possible. There are more at-bats for attention and opportunity. You know what's better than 100 push-ups? 200. You like that one, huh? But you know who I love the most? Fitness people. Fitness entrepreneurs are my favorite. Let me tell you why. They're so good at their craft, but then to business, they don't do the thing they do in fitness. And fitness entrepreneurs shit on people because people want shortcuts in fitness. They want fucking implants, they want fucking apple cider vinegar pills, they want all sorts of bullshit when the answer is put the work in the gym and eat properly. Follow the model. But then as entrepreneurs, you see these fucking all beefed up, did everything fucking perfect. I'm talking about the ones that don't cheat. I'm talking about doing it right. And then they come to business and they're like, what's the shortcut? And I'm like, you know that there's no shortcut in this shit. The fuck are you looking for shortcut in this shit? Right? They fascinate me because they have such a big chapter of their life they know. Everyone's like, I spent 38 years looking for the shortcut. I'm like, what? They're like, it's fucking go in the gym and fucking eat properly, motherfucker.
Amen.
That is so true. So true.
Yeah. So Dave, tell me about these shortcuts. Is there, did we try to find a shortcut? Were we looking for shortcuts?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was completely looking for shortcuts. That's why it took me 3 years to get to this point.
Well, I guess because I had you already did all the legwork on it.
Yeah, well.
So I just came in behind you.
So a little bit more about my background. So I first found out about affiliate marketing doing Uber. There was a point in my life where my wife and I was going through some financial hardships because she was moving careers. She was changing careers. So long story short, went on an Uber drive and went into this condo in downtown Fort Lauderdale, very expensive condo. Get there and this kid opens the door and I'm like, you the only one here? He's like, yeah. I mean, he had to be like 22, 23 maybe. And I was like, wait, I gave him his food and I asked him, I said, bro, what did you do to get here? He was like, you ever heard of affiliate marketing or e-commerce? I said, I think so. And he was like, yeah, that's it. Bye. Click, close the door. He closed the door. And I get back in the car and I'm like thinking to myself, like, whoa, my wife is looking at me because we used to do Uber together. That's how we spent our Saturdays and Sundays for like a good, I don't know how long that was. It was a good long while. So, I told her about what I heard. She was like, oh, okay. And, from then on, I was kind of like obsessed with trying to find how to make money online. And these guys will tell you, I came into work like freaking prophet of affiliate marketing. I was like, say it on the hills, I shall have a passive income from this day forth. I shall no longer work.
It took so long though. It took like what? I think 6 or 7 months.
Well, no,
you got a trickle of little things here and there, but then when November came, you started getting like a $500 check. Where the hell is this coming from?
Well, what happened? It took me about 4 months from that day. So I found out about it in let me count backwards from April. So sometime near the end of December about it, and I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So I jumped on it, and then I found like one program that I was like, let me share this link on Twitter. And one day I had $15. I was like, I made $15. Next day I had $17. I'm like, So time went on, and over time I kept getting more and more. And it's kind of like how they did, like how a drug dealer does with like dope or crack, they give you a little taste for free. It's like I did it for free. I figured out, if I could do it all the time like this. So it got me hooked in the notion that I could make a passive income, because by the end of that year, I had amassed over $1,500 for something I did for 15 minutes worth of work. And I'm like, well, if I can take this and grow it at scale, and then that's what I started doing, the research, finding the understanding and reading the books. Well, reading the books came way later, right? But I was looking for all of the shortcuts. I was trying to figure out how to do it for free, how to do it this way, how to do it like the low end, like the low buy-in or the low end of it to get the high return. And it's not something that you can actually do, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to make any kind of money online, you have to spend some kind of money. You need a website, you need a funnel, you need to pay for a email responder or autoresponder. There's certain tools that you have to purchase, certain things that you have to buy, certain things you have to invest in. You have to invest in books. Like I got books over here and you have to invest in your knowledge as well. So it takes time and it takes effort, right? So it's no shortcut. The shortcut is the straight line. That's the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? You can't take any shortcuts to get there, because if you take a shortcut, it's going to take you further off the path. You're going to eventually have to come back to the path. And if that's anything that I can impart into anybody watching this, understand right now, there is no shortcuts. He's telling you the truth, right? And there's no shortcuts to the gym. Obviously, I haven't started on that path completely, but still. Yeah, see, Steve can rub his chest like this. I'm more like. So let's keep rolling.
I've been able to do anything physical for months.
Yeah, right.
Nah.
All right, let's keep rolling.
So back to content. I'm like, I don't know. Like, some of you make really good TikToks, but you don't do this. Like, you have to be contextual to the platform. You have to know who the audience is, and slang matters, right? You have to understand, you have to put in the reps, the content output. Like, everybody tries to use social as distribution and make one piece of content and post it everywhere. That completely doesn't work. You've got to contextualize and post creative for the platform. I've given 3 talks today. Flew in, that's why I was able to make it work with Beacon. I'm super pumped about surrounding this, and I surrounded it. All 3 are different. I have to read the room. The philosophical shit's the same, but it's got to be different, right? It's like It's all food, but it's different. And you have to know your audience. I don't understand how people come with fucking YouTube DNA into TikTok and think it's gonna work. The mindset's different. The same person, the same human, I'm not talking about age and gender and race and religion, the same human being is a different consumer on TikTok than they are on Instagram. Your mindset's different. One's passive entertainment, on LinkedIn it might be information, like it's all context.
So level 2 Gary Vee, Team Gary Vee.
Yes.
And so maybe break down, I'm looking, taking advantage of a little bit of advice, how you built the team, how fast you're trying to scale the team. Do you have people running, operating things, editors? At
this point, everything, you know, and maybe some people that are really paying attention, my content's a little bit down because VeeFriends and VaynerX is exploding and I'm like, there's a lot for me to do there, but yeah, I mean, you know, I film everything.
Yeah.
I film absolutely everything and then we go into post-production and we script the audio for the podcast and we have writers who take the words, like everything is me. Even, you know, everything has to be me.
How many people taking?
By the way, that's a real big point. Anybody here who has a social media person post on their behalf and write the copy, to this day, every single word on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, every single word in the copy is written actually by me. I know people who like immediately hire someone to post on their behalf and write the copy as if it's them. That's that apple cinnamon fucking gummies. So obviously I don't make the videos, but like half the videos in my WhatsApp with my team right now never get posted because I don't like it. Half. I don't like it. I think they missed the context. I think it's out of context. I don't want to talk about that right now because the world is this, that. And then I post it, me. So, you know, I think that people don't want to do the work, but you can have tons of people around you. We figured out document, don't create. That was the big unlock. Just fucking film everything, post-produce. This is a good reason to start shows. If you look, you know, this might really help a lot of you. Go to YouTube tonight when you get back home, put in my name and sort by lowest views. You will be blown away how many little things I do and have done. No audience, because I wanted just the content from doing the podcast for my post-production. So like, at this point in my career, it's awesome because I get to win twice. Back in the day, I would do it because I wanted the content. Now, it's like a double win because I know me being on a guest on an up and coming show really helps them. So I'm giving love and roses and I'm getting my content. But a lot of you say no to shit because your humility's not in check. I still say yes to shit that a lot of you pass on because I out humble you.
I like Steve's face right about now. He's got something brewing. I like that I out humble you statement, but it's like kind of like
he's a good guy. He's a good guy. It just reminds me of me.
All right, so let me ask a quick question before we go into the context of this. Dave, how you doing on time? It's almost 8:12. It's 8:12. Are you good or because we have? I think we got like maybe about
5 minutes.
Yeah, or so left on the video.
Oh no, yeah, that's fine.
All right, Steve, you good?
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, cool. So let's get into that context just a little bit. Anything that popped off there when he was talking about like or did I completely throw everybody off?
No, I mean,
Trying to recall.
You know, yeah, I'm pretty thrown off.
We'll just edit this part out.
It's a good line, you know. I like what he said. You know, it's he out humbles people. He's afraid to try. He's on point. You know, he's on point.
Well, the one thing that stood out to me when I saw this the first time, first time it went over my head. The second time I saw it, I was like, huh. wow, he's willing to actually do a show with people that has no audience just so he can get the content. But then at the same time, it's a win-win for him because not only is he getting content that he can put up, but he can also say, hey, these people, whoever had me on their show, they're going to get views now simply because he was there.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty doggone cool, man.
Yeah, it's that concept of grow, get yourself out there, that .com mindset, you know, grow.
But then you have the I always screw this word up. I'm just gonna say the opposite end of that, where you have people who nobody knows, right? It's like, I'm only going on Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? I'm only doing this podcast. And it's like, come on, man, for real?
Good luck for that call.
Yeah, right?
What really strikes me about it, and especially that little clip, what really strikes me about that clip is he really shows that he understands social media.
Yeah.
He understands the context of each platform and how the personality, the same person is different on each.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on each platform. And, you know, that's something I never really thought about,
mm-hmm.
but I feel like I always kind of knew, you know, like I don't go to Facebook for the same content that I go to Instagram, even though they're basically,
similar,
you know,
but
similar brothers, you know, essentially a lot of the stuff that gets pushed to me by the algorithms on Instagram will show up on Facebook also, you know, so, you know, obviously they're related. I don't have TikTok because, you know, I don't, the Chinese government and all that stuff.
I don't like it either. Roger's the only one that has it.
My habits, my very important habits. I don't need them to know that.
So,
you know, but
but
he understands.
I'm gonna pause. I want to pause right there with that thought. So you don't have TikTok. Well, Dave doesn't have TikTok. Well, wait. Dave doesn't have TikTok because of that reason. Steve doesn't have TikTok for that reason. I'm the only one that has it. So we're gonna take that and put it right here. So he also talked about developing a team or finding a team. So when I began on this journey, of course, like I said, I was by myself in the beginning. You know, I told all of you guys about it, but when I really, really dug in deep was about 5 months ago. It was like in March. And I really was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. No matter what, I'm going to figure out how to make a passive income and create options for my family, right? So I dug in as deep as I possibly could. And the one thing that kept coming up over and over was you need a team. You cannot do this alone. I'm like, but I have no team. I'm like, maybe I'm going to meet somebody online that's going to help me. Maybe I'm going to like run into somebody at the store. Maybe I'm going to do something with it. But I literally had no team. And then at one point I was like, let me make a team. So I started reaching out to Dave and a couple of other people, but not more or less like trying to get them to do the thing that I was doing at the time, because I had no vision for how I wanted to do this, right? I didn't even understand that I might do some sort of podcasty reacting type video show, whatever, right? It wasn't even on my radar because I was still trying to do stuff from behind the scenes, right? So as I go into this, I'm like, whoa, hey, I added Dave. Dave was like, yeah, let's do this. Reluctantly, but he said, let's do this, right? I was like, I got a team.
Said, and we have to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I was like, yo, I got a team. So me and Dave was the team. And then you and I spoke one day out of the week, and I was like, man, Steve is an awesome conversationalist, and he brings the opposite thing, because me and Dave, we're like a hive mind on certain things, you know? So we have this view that we don't often think about, you know? It's just like, we're good on this and we have this view and we're good in this bubble. But Steve brings this opposite view, right? And I was like, man, would Steve be down for this?
No, I like Steve because he's got a lot on his mind, and he is very articulate when he speaks.
Steve is very articulate. But when I talked to Dave, I was like, man, you think Steve want to do this with us? You think we can add him? He was like, yeah. So I, because when we started on this journey, I'm like, bro, it's me and you. We're not telling anybody about this. We're not going anywhere until we got that first episode out. It was like, let's get out this first episode. But then I realized I had to tell people, because at some point you have to bring in other people to do the thing that you're trying to do. So like today, we just found out this whole connection process and we had to figure it out. And then next week we have a guest that we have to film that's going to be in an upcoming episode. And I now have to figure that out. So I need help trying to do that. So now I got to go and reach out again and figure out how I can do it. I might actually have to buy EV Mux, that other program. Shout out to EV Mux. They're a good program. So I might actually have to just go and get that in order to add the other individual easily instead of trying to do it the janky way. You know what I'm saying? Bootstrapping it. You know what I mean? So with that said, it's like, I got a team now. My boys, with the same people that I worked with for how many years did we work together? Like 2 years? Me and Dave,
10 years.
You and I have worked with each other for a lot longer, Dave, but I forget how long Steve was there.
I was only there maybe like 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
He couldn't take us anymore.
No, Steve went to go on to accomplish a dream that me and Dave both have. He bought a home, and he bought it on Christmas, which of all days.
That was wild.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. The Christmas house.
Never again.
So all right. So going back to some of the points that he made in the video, he talked about the different platforms bringing certain types of DNA over to one platform. Like we can't do what we do on YouTube on TikTok. It's a different beast, and vice versa, Facebook or Instagram. So you have to be a little bit more versatile of how you put your content out there. Now, that thing I said about not having these things, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and put it right here. So now that I have a team, YouTube need to get some social media platforms to help me share this.
For a purpose, it makes sense. For me to just browse and just like have something else to browse, I don't.
It's nonsensical.
The time suck.
Yeah.
So for a purpose, like I said this, and like I told you, I got a lot of the band vibes, from all of this, like working towards something. Okay, cool. This is
Steve,
awesome.
I'm gonna need you to stay in shot, sir.
Keep moving everywhere. It's better.
When all that was like, I told you I was getting a lot of those vibes with this. God damn it, I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry. But there's a purpose behind it.
There is a purpose.
The purpose.
And the fact that we had this vehicle that we kind of through, and the fact that we're good friends, that we all, got along great. I mean, we met through work, and who becomes friends at work?
Yeah, right.
I become friends with a lot of people.
Like wild different viewpoints that we all kind of share, but we all respect each other, and we all and we enjoy each other. We are friends. Yeah, it's like, and it's. I think this is going to be a great venture. Oh, right. Okay, so I got to the point in the band where we were promoting a lot of our shows and this and that, and it's heavy metal, so like nobody wants to hear heavy metal except for heavy metal people. Or you're trying to promote and everybody's just like, no, I don't want heavy metal. I just want to go clubbing and Miami and all this stuff. I got to the point where I was like, I want to be on Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook. I don't want to promote. And we would all say this to each other. If it wasn't for the band, we would be off social media as individuals, of course. And a few years after not being in a band, I'm still on social media because I like to browse and whatever. I guess it's like the keep up with the people. It's like your garden, your people garden, right? Your friends that you kind of like met through the years, you know. And I got a lot of people on there that I just met through the bands that I partied with them once, you know, and now they get to see my dog every time I post a picture of her, you know, and my son and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, hey, and it's kind of strange like that, but you know, here we are, and it only influenced my my approach to new platforms. So I say, no, you know what? I've already got these two. Those are my two main ones. Facebook, Instagram. I like to hang out there. You know,
perfect.
So my little content, my things that, you know, whatever the algorithm wants to feed me when I'm bored.
Sure.
Great. You know, I enjoy that for what it is. You know, as far as like going out, putting more content, I haven't had content to put out except pictures, dogs, this and that. You know, I don't. When I think of business and this and that, I don't think about the internet, you know, for whatever reason. I was always apprehensive.
He buys stuff off of Amazon all the time.
You know, when I was a kid,
he gets ads in his video feeds all the time.
When I was a kid and the internet was first coming out, I used to get like mad anxiety for the state of humanity because I saw that everybody's going to be their own little fucking god, you know, and when worshiping themselves and their own opinion is the only thing that matters. And now the advertisers are sending you advertising for the specific thing that you need. You know, you think about something and now you're getting ads about it. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. You talk about it once, now you're getting ads about it. And I guess as a kid, I saw what the potential of what it's going to push humanity towards, and it scared me. I didn't like it.
Now, now let's pause right there, because that's the difference between you and Gary Vee. He saw it and got excited. You saw it and got scared.
Now, this is not good.
in a way, that's so true. It's not good. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time off air, you know, and how the internet creates these bubbles, right? You don't ever have to watch anything that you're not interested in if you don't want to. But yet you still have people that come to people's channels just to leave a negative remark. You're so stupid for believing this. Well, how did you even get here? If you don't like it, why are you here? And why are you commenting? Thank you for your comment, by the way. Thank you for furthering along the conversation. So in a way, you're right. It is very destructive, but then at the same time, it's very constructive, because think about what we're trying to do, right?
It is. And my anxiety eased as I got older, and I was like, okay, you know, it's not the great devil, you know. I thought it would be, or this or that, you know.
It most definitely is, but still,
it's all things. It's the same way society is all things, you know. You got geniuses, you got pedophiles, you got this, that, right? It's all society at the end of the day, for better or worse, right? It's the same thing with the internet. It is all things,
and it is what you make it to be. So whatever you setting out to do on there, however you're looking to accomplish things, you're going to run into evil no matter where you are, and there's going to be an upside and a downside to anything. It's like money. The love of money is the root of all evil, but yet money answers all things. That was a quote from Jesus Christ himself, right? So when we look at this and we say, hey, you know, we're making content. What? Steve is making content. No. Even better. Dave is making content. Dave does not have a Facebook account to this day. So that's why Steve will be the head of Facebook, so he can go ahead and share. So Dave, you're going to have to get on some other platforms to help me share this stuff. All right, cool. Perfect. So
you can get the China virus.
Yeah, I'll keep TikTok. I'll go right ahead and I'll deal with Bite Dance.
Oh, that's what you were talking about, Steve. I was like, what are you talking about?
Right, you got China virus.
The TikTok, the what is it? The app from China. It is the app that's from China. Nobody wants to use it or download it. I'm going to get rid of it altogether. Look at
India did.
Yeah, India did. And it's funny because our guest that we're going to be having on eventually, she is She is a current resident in India. They do not have TikTok. They cannot use it. They cannot download
She's so lucky.
But she has Facebook. That's how her and I met. So it's the team. We have a team. We have content. You know, we have different platforms that we got to use this to post stuff on. So we eventually going to have to talk about how we as a team are going to help other people get to know us. Right. So, because right now it's me alone posting. I posted 2 TikTok videos that one of them did really well, in my opinion, and it had over 1,500 views. Hey, you know, don't laugh at me, people at home, because at the current time, my most viewed video on TikTok was like maybe 600 views. So
1,500 is not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. It's 1,500 more people that knows this face than last week, right? Especially knows David's face, right? And Dave is just, he doesn't do social media except for Instagram. And you saw some of the pictures he was just showing us 5 minutes ago, just before we started, of puppy dogs.
Oh.
Look at Dave's face. It was Pogs. I promise you it was Pogs. Either way, as a team, we're going to move forward and we're going to accomplish great things. But as a team, you know, we can do things together and accomplish it and get stuff done that I alone can't do, you alone can't do. So it's about divvying up the work and moving forward. Now, I'm not asking anybody to edit videos yet, but I might have to pass that work along. Besides, we got another guy who we're eventually going to have on the show. He's actually doing the logo for us, and he might have to edit the videos. Who knows? Who knows? But, you know, Gary Vee has D-Rock. D-Rock shoots all of his stuff. And
What was that?
D-Rock is the name of the guy that films all of his stuff. All right, so you see how right now we're making content, right? This is called content creation. Well, what Gary typically does is he documents instead of create content. Like, he doesn't be like, well, he does, but then at the same time, he's like, hey, turn that camera on and let's just live. Today we're going here, and D-Rock turns on the camera and they follow, and he has conversations. He's like in the car riding with people having a conversation, or he's like heading over here. He's taking a walk in the park. He's doing whatever he's doing in that day, and then just documenting. And he uses that to make content. That's why this video has 4.3 million views. It's like he said earlier, what's better than 100 push-ups? 200 push-ups. It's the content. It's the eyeballs. It's the attention. Like we said last week, or I think, no, yeah, I told Steve this. I said, attention is the new oil. I think Gary Vee said that. Alex Hormozy said that. Attention is the oil of today's society. We're drilling for oil because we want people to understand, hey, this economy is where it is at. Like, going to work 9 to 5, yeah, that's going to get you a life. But that's going to make you a living, right? But how do you get a life? How do you get options in life? You can't do it at work because you're limited by how much you can do with 8 hours of your day. You know, you can't multiply yourself and go work 7 different jobs. Trust me, some have tried. You can't do it. But one way of doing that is creating content. And if you could create content, you now have something that's working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you're providing information, you're providing value, you're providing entertainment, you're providing comfort, because, you know, people want to see people live life sometimes. People want to know if other people are going through the same thing they're going through. They want to know if they got to have nose surgery, or they want to know if they have to have like some sort of, thing going on in their life, or if you got a new puppy or something like that. Somebody always wants to know if somebody going through the same thing I'm going through. And the advent of the internet brought that to reality. Because before, remember when we had to do book reports?
Oh yeah.
Libraries. What are those?
Yeah.
Or the encyclopedia. Remember those?
Yeah.
Those the encyclopedia salesmen that used to come to the house. Britannica, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when they first had it online, my mom was excited about it. She was like, "You get the whole encyclopedia online?" Pfft, Google is our encyclopedia now. So, all right, we ain't got that much longer. Let's do this. It's almost it's getting late, guys.
Hurry up.
Gary, I have one
People
more
fucking
question.
walking around here like, oh, I'm only gonna do Joe Rogan. You fucking suck right now. The fuck are you talking about? You should do everything.
1 is greater than 0.
1 is greater than 0. I watch people walk around thinking there's somebody. There was somebody at VCon trying to get into somebody. They're like, yo, I got 18,000 followers on Instagram. I'm like, what the fuck? People get high on their own supply real quick. Real quick. People walking around here thinking there's somebody because they got 230,000 followers on TikTok. So? Humble the fuck up. Shit will get better.
Gary, one of the big things that holds people back is self-consciousness, but specifically people that worry about how am I gonna look on camera? How am I gonna sound on camera? What would you say to somebody who's just trembling with fear to get on camera because of those insecurities?
I say a lot of things. It's the core foundation of my content. The last 7 years of my life have been dedicated on trying to build people's self-esteem. I sound crazy. Not all that, I mean, I've gotten a little bit better looking, but like, you know, like, I'm not winning on that. Like, so? Like, I don't, like, high school ended. Everybody has zits too. Like, you know, like people are like, I'd laugh when it was like, yo, you really suck at this. I'm like, you suck at shit too. As if not everybody sucks at shit. Everybody in here sucks shit at so much shit, it's crazy. Right? Fuck. And but you want I'll give you a real answer to what I actually think works. This is a wild answer to this, in my opinion, but I've really started to zero in. I'm gonna help you jump over the hurdle of the fear of how I look, how I sound. Deploy compassion to those who shit on you. I think the reason I'm winning is when somebody says you're an idiot, you're a scam, you're full of shit, you suck, you're ugly, fuck you. My brain immediately goes to like, man, for somebody to take time out of their day to come to my profile to try to tear me down because they're hurting so much inside, I only have love for them. I'm aware that we're in a societal place right now where the way we respond to people's hate is with hate back to them, but I just don't have that gear. When I get shit on, I deploy love through the form of compassion. If you're able to do that, you won't hear them. But that's why I've been pounding on humility. The reason I work is because I've got this going on. For when I get 1,000 comments, 860 of them are a goat emoji. The other 140 are, you're a scam artist. When you can't hear either, you can move. When you only hear the goat stuff, you become vulnerable to the scam stuff.
All right. I want to bring it home on that note because it's getting late. We gotta get ready for the work day. Steve done leaned off camera so much I can't even get him in the shot now.
I'm off?
Yeah, just come.
You gotta go.
Yeah, whatever side that is. I need more of that side. I need more Bell. There we go. Yeah, that's good.
Because here I could still see myself.
Yeah, you can.
But he's cutting you.
Because I have to fit all of us into this thing. So if you're uncomfortable, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up here. But I want to get you guys' last thoughts on that because the video is got 1 minute left, and they kind of wrap up on this end. So This is something that Dave and I struggle with. Steve, not so much because
he looks good. Look at him; he's just chilling. He's good.
Well, he has the history, man. He was performing in front of live audiences.
Yeah.
And screaming and spitting on them. Like it wasn't even like nice performance, you know. It was like, you know, it was not nice performance. I caught myself before I went.
It was heavy metal, right? And it's funny because the VP at the company I work for, I was in his office Friday, and all right, so quick story. He was I was in the kitchen getting something, and he had his music on, and I hear this awesome lap drum solo. He was he was killing it, and I was like, what the heck? And I was like, is that coming from his office? So I go and I say, bro, is that you? He was like, yeah. I was like, bro, you are an excellent lap drummer. He was like, oh yeah, I used to drum in a band. I'm like, you did what? And bro, like later on in the afternoon, he calls me into his office. He was like, oh, he didn't tell you, man. Me and his brother used to play, and they played this song for me called Five Skin. And I'm like, where is this? Like, I need to hear this. The guy who was on vocals, the other salesman, his brother was like the guitarist, and the vice president of the company that I work for, he's the drummer. And when I tell you they shredded, they killed. I was in the office like, I was like, yo, right? So being up there and performing for people, he told me like similar stories in what you said. You know, he's like, man, we was at this place and they was throwing chicken wings at us while we was performing, but they was at a really heavy metal place and they was performing like soft rock. And people
will get you chicken wings thrown at you.
Yes, but bro, they have the potential to play like really good heavy metal songs. And the guy who was on vocals, he was like, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, he had a good like roar, you know? Right. So, I mean, I don't know why I was bringing this up. Oh, yes, that's right. Being able to be in front of somebody and get over that hate, right? So,
yeah,
the hate.
Confidence is a thing.
Yeah.
Confidence is the thing. Gary Vee's very confident. You know, like you said, you know, he's ugly. You know, he looks like he's been hit with a shovel a few times already. He doesn't care. You know.
Yeah.
Some of those things you only work through that stuff until you're there. I think, you know, some people are naturally just confident and cool and collected. You know, I wasn't always like that. You know, and I still don't think I am. You know, but like
crazy. You look fine.
When you have exposure to it.
Well,
when you have exposure to it, you have exposure to it, and it helps. You know, I think what he was saying about responding with love.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's an interesting way of approaching it. You know.
Well, that's actually that literally comes from a Bible verse. Like, I mean, maybe he didn't, you know, get that from there, but there's a Bible verse, and sorry for my Christian friends who may watch this, but please don't look at me so bad because I can't remember.
Thou shalt not spare the rod.
Shut up, David. it was when somebody is being evil to you, you respond to them with kindness, and it's like and they will reap like hot coals on their head. Like when you respond to them with kindness, it's like taking coals from a fire and putting it on top of their head. They're like, oh, like, dang, man, wow, I didn't even, wow, it was so nice to me. It's like it literally gives them like a 180, you know. And I think that's so true, because for somebody, like he said, for somebody to come and take time out of their day to tear you down, they really got to be going through something, hurting, right? And the confidence that you can get.
I disagree there. I don't think that they got to be hurting. I think that, you know, it could just be for boredom. You know, some people just like tearing people down out of spite.
But you know what? Looking at it that way will give you the ability to be like, man, you're hurting so bad that you need to do this. You know, instead of just being, oh, because I know if I think somebody is bored, I'm be like, you know what I'm saying? This is all you got to do with your time. And another thing that I think is very important is that Dave should really, truly understand from this that camera confidence or being on camera is not as bad as you think. Like, we don't look at you like, all right, for instance, I still have to struggle with the back of my head. Like, I know people look at the back of my head. The back of my head, for those who don't know, and I won't show it on camera, it looks like an angry face. It looks kind of like the face that Steve is making right now, but more like the troll meme. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is Roger's neck.
Yeah. The back of my head is like, I mean, my brother-in-law told me one time, he was like, man, I don't think you shave your hair that low, man. I have the head of a Shar-Pei. If you know what a Shar-Pei is, that dog, maybe I could post one here I'll put a picture here. That's the equivalent. It's like somebody with a very powerful hand grabbed my head and just squeezed it. It was like, there, I'm done. I've done my work. So thank God that he's blessed me after 40 with a full head of hair, because I don't think that my confidence would be high enough to walk around bald, because, but
it's rough.
It's the same head that I had all. Yeah, it's rough. It's Shar-Pei rough. It's the same head that I've had all my life, and people see it, you know? So I'm married. My wife is very beautiful. I have beautiful children who, thank God, did not inherit my head, but I'm a confident person. I just don't ask me to turn around. And I saw this thing about these big hats. I was like, ooh, I get some big hats. But, we all struggle with something, right? And Dave just is like, hey, man, camera work. And, I gave him exercises to do. And maybe people at home, if you're interested in things of that nature, maybe we could put together something like, confident builders that you get for free. We'll make it like a free package or something that you can get, like a PDF, where you can actually, like, I'll give you like a guide to help break your camera anxiety. I did a video about defeating camera anxiety on my channel, and there's more steps that you should apply. And David has done some of them.
Two or three.
But if you do it constantly every single day, for as long as it takes you to get over it, you'll find that you'll be better at speaking. You'll be better at hearing yourself. You'll be more confident. Like me and Steve talked about this when he was saying that he went over some old music that was absolutely horrible in his opinion. But the whole point from that conversation is that it was like, oh, this sucks. Oh, that sucks even more. Oh, it's not so bad. Oh, that sucks. But he got through all of it. And by the end of it, he's like, man, I made some good stuff here and there, but he was able to do it. And, in order to be successful online, you have to use your face. And for two reasons that I can think of, and the thing that made me say, you know what, I need to be in front of the camera. I need to show my face. I think it was like yesterday on my actual YouTube channel, not the Passive Gains for Life channel, but my Roger Carter YouTube channel. I finally changed my profile picture to a picture of me. For years, I had this thing. Is
that the animated one that you drew?
No. I had a profile picture of Rain from Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
It was a really cool picture of Rain. His arms was like glowing blue, and he was like holding this thing. I had that on there, and I hate Mortal Kombat, the game. I just wanted the world to know that. But Tekken likes my game. Yeah, but I finally changed that profile picture to my actual face. Because when you go into the online world, there is so many scammers. There are so many people using fake IDs, fake faces, fake profiles, and they just want your money. They just want to scam you. However, when you can be a real individual and attach your face to something and be genuine about it, it gives you more access and more trust. Because if you're watching this, you are more apt to trust us in the things that we're talking about, because the same face that's here matches the one on my profile. And if you was to ever contact me via like Skype or Messenger or any other kind of way, you would see this same face looking right back at you. Don't ask me to turn around, but this same face would be here. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to get over that. And that's why we can look at people like Gary Vee or Sean Cannell, is because they put themselves out there. They're out there, right? They're in the wilds. Like, hey, this is me. Love it, like it, hate it. Either way, this is what you get. This is all you get, because this is all I had to give you, you know? So being afraid of how you look is something that we all have to get over if we're going to break into the online world. Mm-hmm. Right? Because it's the way we do business our entire life. If you currently work right now, you went in with the same face that you had to get the job. You didn't wear a mask. You didn't have an emoji. You didn't have like some dolled up profile pic. You didn't have like an Instagram photo where you was doing all the kissy face smile. I hate the kissy face smile. I can't stand that. Right?
Is that still a thing? I don't know if that's still a thing anymore.
It's not. I don't think it is, but some people, it's like Jerry curls. You remember Jerry curls from the 80s? It's just some people get it and hold on to it. We know a guy that still has a Jerry curl. But either way, it's you have to get over that. Because in order to be in this online world and to be somewhat successful, even just somewhat, like, and whatever your idea of success is, just enough to be able to get somebody to trust you, you got to put your face out there. You got to get over that confidence. Don't worry about how you look. Don't worry about how you sound. Trust me, there are some people out here killing it, and I'm looking at them like, dang, wow, you're out here doing this and you're making it.
Yeah, but they have so much confidence. When I watch them, I do the same thing too.
Yeah.
And I think about it too. I'm like, man, they can do it. I can do it.
You're doing it.
You are doing it. You're doing it right now.
Right now.
Am I?
Oh, good.
Am I?
Dave,
am I?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. You're doing it, bro. And see, the thing is, and this is what I noticed about Dave, and I love about him. It's like when he's doing a thing, he's like, I'm not sure if I get this done. But you're already doing it. And he would do that with a lot of stuff too. He's like, man, I don't know if I could complete this job. And I'm like, what floor are you on? I'm on the last floor. Boy, you're done. Yeah, but I got to do this and I got to do that. You're like, you're going to get it done. Yeah. So this, we have to stop overthinking things. We have to use the knowledge that these successful people are giving away. This video cost me nothing. They gave it away. They're like, this is how you succeed. And then we look at that and be like, are you sure?
Can I do it?
Yeah, but can I do it? Okay, I know Dave doesn't watch anime. Steve, have you ever seen One Punch Man?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see that episode when this guy asked Saitama how did he get his super strength?
Oh yeah. It's like 100 push-ups, run 2 miles, this and that. It's like the most regular workout routine.
Basic calisthenics.
Basic.
And the guy would not accept it. He was like, that's impossible. There's no way you got this strong from basic calisthenics. He was like, I worked out so hard that my hair fell out.
Hey, Steve, that's what happened to you.
Yeah. No. But still, it's those basic things. Be nice. Be genuine. Don't worry about how you look. Don't worry about how you sound. Make good, valuable content. Just be yourself. So what's the shortcut? That's it. I've given you the recipe, right? And I keep echoing this because I think it's very important for everybody to know, especially the people who are viewing this video. The three of us, we come from a time where there was no such thing as the internet at 1 year, and the next year, that's all anybody ever talked about, right? To the point where we literally went from one way of life to another way of life, and we watched it evolve to where it is now. Like, I am literally sitting in a home studio that would have cost millions of dollars in our time at our age. Yep. Like 13, 12, 14, right? What? But it also gives us access to the minds of successful people. Something that we would never have. Forget the studio, the cameras, the computer. How do you get to where you are, sir? You couldn't ask Warren Buffett to talk to you for an hour.
Yeah, you can. You get those VHS tapes.
Yeah. From where? Did you know where to get it from? It wasn't advertised.
The Home Shopping Network.
But the access to the minds of millionaires, the minds of successful business owners, the access to the minds of people like Gary Vee, the access to the minds of people like Patrick Bet-David, Alex Hormozy, some of the names I can think of right now off the top of my head, Myron Golden.
You can access them from the master classes now.
But no, you can actually access them by going on Twitter. Gary Vee will respond to you. It might take him a little while, but he will respond to you. You know how many YouTubers that's given me a response? I mean, the advent of the internet has made the world closer. That's why Twitter is such a thing, because somebody can say something crazy on a feed and Elon Musk will respond. And they'll be, like,
that's so crazy.
He responded to me. Marcus Brownlee did a video the other day talking about how YouTube is still a S tier platform for being able to, pay their content creators for content. Elon Musk responded, "For now." Like, the billionaire responded to internet personality who didn't exist 10 years ago. Well, maybe 10 years ago, but more than 12 years ago. I think he was a kid 12 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We were full on adults still. He was probably still like a 13, 14-year-old kid. I don't know how old he is.
Yeah, but he was doing it. I saw those videos.
Yeah, and I watched him grow up online.
Yeah.
And I sent you a video about his studio. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. It was amazing seeing him, because I actually just watched that not too long ago to build up my confidence. And I'm like, I like watching MK. What is it? MKBHD, whatever it is.
Yeah. Don't get me to repeat it, but that sounded very close to it, because I know I screw it up all the time. I just like to call him Marcus Brownlee.
Yeah, because he was raw. He was him. Yeah. And like, he was like, check out this pencil. This is like the best pencil. It's got this. It's got that. Yeah. It's got... And I'm like, man, he was just like in it, and he wasn't worried. He was just doing his thing. And it was great seeing him. And then looking at him now, it's crazy how much success he has.
And see, and that's the thing. That's the beauty about all of this, is that we have platforms that we can speak on. Could you imagine, right? Think about this, right? We used to have the Friday night TGI Friday. You remember TGI Friday, the TV network. I was at ABC or CB. I can't remember, but it was like programming that came on. They showed you, hey, this is what's hot right now. So you had what was the show? Dinosaurs.
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. What's Steve Urkel?
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, well, that was MTV. But either way, that was a time of like the week where everybody was winding down. You know, it was like you're going into the weekend. You knew Saturday morning cartoons between this time, and after that, it was golf. I was going to be outside anyway. I'm not watching golf, so it was like, you know, you had those times, and now
it's all disrupted.
And that's why
now it's all catered to your, you know, your
ADD-ness
desire, you know, like, oh yeah, I just want to watch cartoons all day. I just want to do this and that all day. But teaching kids balance is so hard now, you know, and so important.
But here's the other end of that. The parent that knows that their child needs to have balance can find a show or something like that where people are focusing on those things. And then they can just say, hey, watch this. That's why it was important for me to create a show where we can focus on the balance of trying to grow out of this rat race.
That doesn't work though.
Tell me how.
Because
Dave.
like,
Dave does this all the time. He just presents like a negative side and be like, haha.
No, because look at my son. He's on to the games. He did have TikTok for a little bit, but because he kept like just constantly every 5 seconds getting that dopamine hit, I'm like, I don't like that. I want him to watch something from beginning to end and understand it. And hey, what happened in the show?
So are you?
This is just like it's annoying, and so we took that away from him, and we did what you said. Let's have him focus on a show. He falls asleep.
Okay.
Within 2 to 3 minutes, his attention span is like not there anymore.
Well, you know what? As a parent, and trust me, my son is right now on Roblox getting busy. He is over here just doing his thing on Roblox, right? We sat in Black Panther this evening and we watched the movie, and I literally told him, like, dude, you need to like just pay attention. When is this movie going to be over with? Right? He couldn't focus the whole time. But think about it. When you was a kid, how much could you focus?
Yeah, focus is hard for kids. You know, I try and look at it like this with kids, especially. You have your time for school, right? So you're sitting, body is in stasis, right? Your mind is working. You have your time for exercise, right? Your mind is still working, but it's a different part of it, right? Now your body is in motion. Now that's moving. Then you got to have your time to do none of those things, right? So that, to me, is screen time.
Yes.
And honestly, I don't care if he's. I'm not, this is gonna sound weird. Not that I don't care what he's watching. I do care what he's watching. Does. Actually, I watch stuff with him, so I know he's not watching anything inappropriate. But my son is 6, right? Yours is Grayson's what, 11?
Yeah.
You know, I'll try and watch stuff with him, but I don't really, what's the word? I don't fret over what he's what platform he's on so much. Obviously, as long as it's age appropriate,
of course.
But if it's his time to relax and have that mental break, I don't care, because he did what he needed to do. He exercised that day, and he exercised his brain. So the mind, the body, and now it's time to relax, because guess what? We all do it too. We all have something mindless that we just watch for entertainment, and whether it's for us who, you know, sat through 3-hour movies, you know, Lord of the Rings and this and that, or they watch 5-second videos, 10-second videos. It doesn't mean that it's inherently evil, you know. Obviously, if they're watching bad stuff, that's what you're talking about. But you know, like my stepdaughter, she's 15 now, right? When she first wanted to get on TikTok, I almost called it Tic Tac, like an old ass. When she wanted to get on there, I was like, oh man, there's all these girls dancing and this and that and all this stuff. And it's like, no, that's just what it wants to show me. Right?
The intro the intro graph. I'm sorry, I said it wrong.
Scat.
Yeah.
You said scat.
Scat.
No, but then, so we said, all right, you can have TikTok, this and that. And I was very pleasantly surprised by the content that she was being shown, because she's very introspective. She loves to learn, all these things. And she was finding all sorts of really good content on TikTok, good advice, psychological advice, all types of stuff, life advice. So it really comes down to the person, essentially. What the algorithm feeds you is a reflection of who you are. Essentially, in many ways.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about it like that.
Of course,
dude. Yes,
so you could just before you meet the person, say, "Hey, hi, I'm David. Let me see your TikTok." This guy's crazy.
If you're a psycho, it's gonna show you psycho shit.
Exactly.
I think, and it could make it worse. But so that's where it gets a little complicated. In my situation, I was lucky because she's a good person, so it showed her good things and all this stuff. I'm sure there's bad stuff that sneaks in there too sometimes. But I mean, you never saw Faces of Death, as a kid.
Yeah. And Roger's like, what?
Yeah, no, I know. I've seen it and I hated it,
Yeah.
But that
it made you feel like crap when I watched that. I watched like one or two and then that was it. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want to see human life being wasted like that. But Steve gave a very good insight. That was very good insight, Steve, because it's like you said, it's going to show you what it is you're interested in. And to the point that Dave made, there are studies that shows that, the attention span of people is like shorter and shorter and shorter. I'm reading a book over here called Hook Point. How to stand out in a 3-second world. Like you literally have 3 seconds to grab people's attention in this world of short attention spans. And if you can't get anybody's attention within 3 seconds, you're done. Right. But using Steve's insight, Dave, you now then as a parent have to be aware of what he's taking in. And if you don't know what he's taking in, then that it's your due diligence to figure that out. Like what is he like cycling through, and from what I see, Grayson is not on some craziness. He
no. He's looking at a lot of basketball stuff, sports.
And that boy
some
can't ball.
People, and what is it? Some guys just constantly screaming on those video game things and. And I just feel like it's filling your head with useless stuff. I told him, I don't mind if you're learning something. Great, go ahead all day.
Dave.
But he's not.
How much Beavis and Butthead did you watch when you was a kid?
I watched a lot, but I went out and skateboarded. I hacked around some computers. I did other stuff. That's what I'm trying to say.
Don't.
Remember, it is a time vampire.
Yeah, it is a time vampire. But listen to this though. You did other stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Grayson does other stuff. He plays basketball.
Because we push him because he's lately he doesn't want to go. As soon as he gets on the court and they say the whistle blows, he's on. As soon as the game's over, no, he'd rather sit inside and watch the mindless shows. Or
most
like
importantly,
video games.
What is his friends doing?
Huh?
Most importantly, what is his friends doing?
His best friend's always practicing 24/7 basketball. He, has a pool, is in his pool, goes outside, does recreational stuff, plays video games. It's a balance thing.
Yeah,
that's what I have to. If he did other things than just YouTube and video games, that's it. That's all. That's the issue I have is just those two things. We push him to go outside, and surprisingly, he'll stay out for like an hour or two. He'll come in to get a drink, and he's gone. And that, to me, as a kid, that's awesome to go outside. And then I told him, if you go outside for an hour or two, you can go ahead, watch your games and do. I don't have an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all day gaming. That's where I have the issue.
Right.
Or YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Get outside, sweat, jump, do something, play, interact with other kids.
Yeah, I agree to that. And
Because
but
he normally sits for 6 hours on a video game. And it's my fault because I'm working, at my job. Plus I work my side business. And then my wife is, she has health conditions.
Yeah.
So I don't want to push her into doing so much stuff. So I help her when I can.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of just let the two of them stick on their electronics, keeps them quiet. Yeah. But that's been like that for like 2 years. And it's getting to me really bad now. When you approached me to do this, I said, you know what? Let's see what happens with this and see if we can change our lives.
And it
so we can have that free time to get my time back with my kids and my wife.
And that's exactly what I was going to tell you. Children are the reflections of their parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I turn my camera right now, my son...
Do you want dinner?
Do you want dinner?
All right. We're going to wrap up. Do you
want your food?
In a second. We're wrapping up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up right here. But children are also the reflections of their parents. Like my son, literally, his gaming PC is right here, and he felt the need to come over here and just be on camera. Thank you for starring. Yes, he does, and I love him too. So he's a reflection of me, right? I started gaming when games became available. I built him a gaming PC, so he's literally right there. I can see his screen, and we are both, heavy people. I have, we don't get outside as often, so we got him a bike, right? So we need to start doing things as parents to get ourselves outside more. So I can't tell him, hey boy, go outside, while I sit here and do stuff on the computer, right?
Yep, he sees me the same way, sitting on the computer. He gives me that crap right back. You're sitting in front of your computer. I'm like, I'm making money. What are you making?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing though. We have to remember that our children are the reflections of ourselves. So if I'm here doing what I'm doing, of course he's going to be there doing what he's doing. But if I go outside more and I start doing things, guess where he wants to be? Right now at this age, I have to make sure I make different choices, make different changes for me, right? Because, we're doing something to provide more options. But here's a very good key. The life that you want to live, you have to start living it now in order to get to the life that you want.
Okay.
You can't just be like, oh, this is some future thing. How do you get there? Even Gary said it in his video. You have to do the things. You have to do the things to get to the thing that you want. I have it in my journal. The goal is not the goal. The goal is doing the things that gets you to the goal. That's how you get to the goal. Focus
I remember when you approached me to do this, I was all happy and excited. I was like, this is gonna be awesome, cool. I figured we got a couple months before we start. You're like, no, tomorrow we're starting. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because if we don't start, we're never gonna start.
Never.
And I was like, dude, you're so right. Because I say so many things I never do. So many goals don't start.
We all do. And like you told your wife, you was going to eat dinner tonight. So you got to eventually eat dinner. Steve, give your closing thoughts.
I'm starving.
See, unlike you, I prepared. I ate hours ago.
We're starving. We've been hungry since 5:30.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up as a team. Thank you for supporting me. Because without you guys, this stuff is not possible. And thank you, listeners, people who are watching. We appreciate you. If you like and enjoy this video, do what you got to do with the like button. Smack it, slap it, rub it down. Oh, no. That's an old reference. You'll get that song if you're from the 90s. Look at Steve's face. The lips. But either way, watch the rest of this video on Gary's channel. The link will be below. We want to thank you for chilling with us tonight. Hopefully you got something out of this. Hopefully we gave you some sort of thing to spark you on your journey. We appreciate each and every one of you. And hey, we want to say good night, and we will see you guys next week with another episode. Take care. Bye.